Michigan Real Estate Exam Practice Test 2026. Question 1. During a listing presentation in Detroit, a salesperson encounters a rule involving the minimum age for an initial salesperson applicant. Which response follows Michigan law? While the file concerns a single-family residence, assigned agency disclosure, and a financing contingency? Option A. At least 16 years old. Option B. At least 18 years old. Option C. At least 21 years old. Option D. At least 19 years old. The correct answer is option B. At least 18 years old. Michigan requires an initial salesperson applicant to have reached legal adulthood. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. Higher age thresholds are not part of the current salesperson checklist. Question 2. A associate broker is preparing for a buyer consultation in Grand Rapids. Which statement correctly addresses the approved education needed before examination eligibility? While the file concerns a small apartment building, an online advertisement proof, and an unrepresented consumer. Option A. A complete 60 hours of continuing education. Option B. A complete 90 hours of broker education. Option C. Complete 24 hours of approved education. Option D. A complete 40 hours of approved pre-licensure education. The correct answer is option D. Complete 40 hours of approved pre-licensure education. The salesperson pathway begins with 40 approved instructional hours. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. Broker coursework and renewal education serve different licensing purposes. Question 3. Which Michigan requirement should control when an employing broker deals with the civil-rights component within salesperson pre-licensure education during an offer review? While the file concerns an office condominium, a listing agreement, and a confidential price limit? Option A. Include 8 hours of appraisal only. Option B. Include at least 4 hours on civil rights law and equal opportunity in housing. Option C. Include a federal tax workshop. Option D. Include one optional ethics seminar. The correct answer is option B. Include at least 4 hours on civil rights law and equal opportunity in housing. A defined portion of the qualifying course addresses housing equality and civil-rights law. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. An unrelated elective does not satisfy this subject-specific mandate. Stressed about your real estate? We can take real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. At an open house, the brokerage discusses the examination provider used for the Michigan salesperson test. Which conclusion is most accurate? While the file concerns a condominium unit, a lease application, and a change of employing broker. Option A. Pass the salesperson examination administered by SI. Option B. Pass only a school final examination. Option C. Pass an examination administered by the employing broker. Option D. Pass a county assessor examination. The correct answer is option A. Pass the salesperson examination administered by SI. Michigan uses an independent testing vendor for the salesperson licensing examination. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. An employing broker may sponsor the applicant but does not administer the state examination. Question 5. A compliance question in Muskegon concerns the step that produces the candidate identification needed to schedule the test. Which action or statement is appropriate? While the file concerns a retail suite, assigned agency disclosure, and an owner-licensee conflict. Option A. Wait until a license is issued. Option B. Submit the online salesperson application and education proof first. Option C. Ask a broker to create the candidate number. Option D. Schedule with SI before applying. The correct answer is option B. Submit the online salesperson application and education proof first. Exam eligibility is connected to the online application record and verified course completion. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. The identifier is not created by a school or a prospective employer. Question 6. How should a Michigan property manager handle a situation involving the employment relationship required before an active salesperson license is issued? While the file concerns a manufactured home site, an online advertisement proof, and an expired license issue. Option A. Work independently without a broker. Option B. Obtain sponsorship from a licensed individual broker or broker company. Option C. Register with a local board only. Option D, use a title company as the statutory employer. The correct answer is option B. Obtain sponsorship from a licensed individual broker or broker company. A Michigan salesperson practices through a licensed employing broker. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. Independent brokerage activity requires a different level of licensure. Question 7. Which choice best applies the state rule concerning the number of brokers to which a salesperson may be licensed at one time to a renewal review, while the file concerns a 2-unit rental, a listing agreement, and a property-management payment? Option A. Any number of affiliated brokers. Option B. 2 brokers if both consent. Option C. No broker after passing the examination. Option D. 1 employing broker. The correct answer is option D. 1 employing broker. The salesperson license is tied to a single employing brokerage at a time. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. Consent between firms does not create an exception to the 1-employer structure. Question 8. A file from Battle Creek raises an issue about whether a person may simultaneously hold salesperson and broker licenses. Which answer identifies the governing requirement, while the file concerns a historic residence, a lease application, and a delayed possession term? Option A. The restriction applies only to associate brokers. Option B. The person may not hold both license types at the same time. Option C. Both licenses may remain active indefinitely. Option D. Both are allowed if issued in different counties. The correct answer is option B. The person may not hold both license types at the same time. Michigan separates the salesperson credential from broker-level licensure. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. County location does not alter the statewide licensing classification. Are you looking for real estate actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access real estate study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get real estate answer key today. Question 9. Before completing an advertising campaign, which rule should the branch manager apply to the usual validity period of initial salesperson pre-licensure education, while the file concerns a student rental, assigned agency disclosure, and a cooperating brokerage? Option A. 5 years from examination. Option B. 30-6 months from course completion. Option C. 1 year from application. Option D. 6 months from enrollment. The correct answer is option B. 30-6 months from course completion. Initial salesperson coursework remains usable for a 3-year period after completion. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. The examination and application have their own shorter validity periods. Question 10. A Michigan exam candidate reviews a scenario involving the usual validity period of a passing salesperson exam result. Which option reflects the current licensing framework, while the file concerns a vacant commercial parcel, an online advertisement proof, and a rejected counteroffer? Option A. 90 days from testing. Option B. No expiration after passing. Option C. 3 years from testing. Option D. 1 year from the passing date. The correct answer is option D. 1 year from the passing date. A passing licensing score is time-limited even though it has been reported to the application. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. Course validity and license-cycle length do not extend the score period. Question 11. The broker's policy manual addresses the usual validity period of a paid salesperson application. Which provision should it contain, while the file concerns an industrial site, a listing agreement, and an assumed business name? Option A. 1 year from the payment date. Option B. 2 years from course completion. Option C. 30 days from submission. Option D. Until the applicant chooses to reactivate it. The correct answer is option A. 1 year from the payment date. The online application remains open for a defined 12-month period. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. A valid course certificate does not keep an expired application open. Question 12. A regulator asks about the requirement for a non-Michigan resident applying for a salesperson license during a brokerage review. Which response demonstrates compliance, while the file concerns a new construction home, a lease application, and a security-deposit question? Option A. Establish a Michigan homestead. Option B. Appoint a county assessor. Option C, submit a consent to service of process. Option D, open a branch office. The correct answer is option C, submit a consent to service of process. A non-resident applicant must provide a mechanism for legal process connected to Michigan regulation. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. Residency in the state is not itself a condition for salesperson eligibility. Question 13. Which statement would be safest for employing broker to follow when the allowed address arrangement for a salesperson or associate broker becomes relevant, while the file concerns a mixed-use building, assigned agency disclosure, and a dual-representation concern? Option A. Only a broker company may use a post-office box. Option B. An out-of-state address automatically voids the license. Option C. A post-office box may be used. Option D. Every licensee must use a storefront. The correct answer is option C. A post-office box may be used. Individual salespersons and associate brokers have more flexible address options than brokerage offices. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. The mailing choice does not remove non-resident service process requirements. Question 14. A dispute arises during a lease negotiation over the process used when a salesperson changes employing brokers. Which principal resolves the issue, while the file concerns a cooperative unit, an online advertisement proof, and a protected class inquiry? Option A. Submit a ME+ modification request for a license transfer. Option B. Keep both employers until renewal. Option C. Transfer the license through the county register of deeds. Option D. File a new pre-licensure course application. The correct answer is option A. Submit a ME+ modification request for a license transfer. Employment changes are recorded through the state licensing system. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. A deed-recording office has no role in transferring an occupational license. Question 15. In Holland, a listing licensee must decide how to proceed with the status that may follow removal by an employer before expiration. Which decision is consistent with Michigan requirements, while the file concerns a farm parcel, a listing agreement, and a disputed repair credit? Option A. Permanent revocation. Option B. Inactive county registration. Option C. No employer status. Option D. Automatic broker status. The correct answer is option C. No employer status. Michigan does not offer a formal license-escrow classification for salespersons. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. That status does not authorize independent real estate practice. Question 16. Which exam answer accurately classifies the rule involving the standard salesperson license renewal cycle, while the file concerns a lakefront cottage, a lease application, and an electronic signature? Option A. 3 years. Option B. 2 years. Option C. 5 years. Option D. 1 year. The correct answer is option A. 3 years. Michigan salesperson credentials operate on a 3-year renewal cycle. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. The cycle length does not eliminate annual subject requirements within continuing education. Question 17. A new policy is being drafted for the total continuing education expected within a full 3-year cycle. Which language belongs in the policy, while the file concerns a townhouse, assigned agency disclosure, and a referral arrangement? Option A. At least 6 clock hours. Option B. At least 40 clock hours. Option C. At least 12 clock hours. Option D. At least 18 clock hours. The correct answer is option D. At least 18 clock hours. A full renewal cycle requires 18 hours of eligible professional education. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. Pre-licensure coursework cannot simply be relabeled as renewal credit. Question 18. During team training, the supervising broker tests knowledge of the annual law-related continuing education component. Which answer should the team select, while the file concerns a urban infill property, an online advertisement proof, and a team social media post? Option A. 1 hour every 3 years. Option B. 4 hours of appraisal each year. Option C. At least 2 hours involving laws, rules, and court cases. Option D. No annual subject requirement. The correct answer is option C. At least 2 hours involving laws, rules, and court cases. Each year of the license cycle includes a real minus estate law component. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. General elective hours do not replace the designated legal instruction. Stressed about your real estate? We can take real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 19. A consumer asks the brokerage to explain the annual fair minus housing continuing education component. Which explanation reflects Michigan law, while the file concerns a subdivision lot, a listing agreement, and a record inspection request? Option A. At least 1 hour involving fair housing compliance. Option B. 1 hour of tax preparation. Option C. No fair minus housing instruction after licensure. Option D. 3 hours of advertising only. The correct answer is option A. At least 1 hour involving fair housing compliance. Housing minus equality instruction remains an annual part of professional education. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. A general business course does not satisfy this designated subject by itself. Question 20. Which compliance step is required when the transaction facts involve the timing of continuing education in relation to online renewal, while the file concerns a rural acreage, a lease application, and a branch minus office distance issue? Option A. A complete education only if audited. Option B. Renew first and complete education later. Option C. Substitute a new licensing examination. Option D. Finish the required education before submitting the renewal. The correct answer is option D. Finish the required education before submitting the renewal. The licensee must be able to truthfully attest to educational compliance during renewal. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. An audit is a verification mechanism rather than the event that creates the obligation. Question 21. A salesperson notices a potential problem involving the record minus retention period for proof supporting a continuing education certification. Which response should occur first? While the file concerns a single minus family residence, assigned agency disclosure, and a financing contingency? Option A. 1 year after the course. Option B. Until the license card arrives. Option C. At least 4 years after the certification date. Option D. Permanently with the county clerk. The correct answer is option C. At least 4 years after the certification date. Licensees are responsible for keeping acceptable evidence of completed renewal education. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. Course providers or local offices do not replace the licensee's documentation duty. Question 22. The state portion of the exam presents facts about the consequence of a license being revoked before a new application. Which result is supported, while the file concerns a small apartment building, an online advertisement proof, and an unrepresented consumer? Option A. Complete only a transfer request. Option B. Wait 30 days. Option C. Reapply immediately after paying a fee. Option D. Wait at least 3 years after service of the final order. The correct answer is option D. Wait at least 3 years after service of the final order. Revocation creates a statutory waiting period before a new license application. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. A routine transfer or fee payment cannot bypass the sanction. Question 23. Which brokerage practice properly addresses the education calculation for relicensure when expiration was less than 3 years ago in the Battle Creek transaction, while the file concerns an office condominium, a listing agreement, and a confidential price limit? Option A. Complete 6 hours for each elapsed year or partial year. Option B. Complete 40 hours for every missed month. Option C. No education is required. Option D. Repeat only the original exam. The correct answer is option A. Complete 6 hours for each elapsed year or partial year. Recent relicensure uses a year minus by minus year continuing education calculation. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. The original salesperson course is not automatically the only route in this situation. Question 24. A licensee is comparing 4 procedures related to the additional choices after a license has lapsed for 3 years or more. Which procedure is lawful, while the file concerns a condominium unit, a lease application, and a change of employing broker? Option A. Meet the stated relicensure education or examination pathway. Option B. Reactivate through a local association. Option C, use an employer transfer without review. Option D, pay a late fee only. The correct answer is option A. Meet the stated relic-ensure education or examination pathway. A long-expired credential requires more than a routine renewal transaction. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. Local membership does not restore state authority to practice. Question 25. At the end of a transaction-file review, the parties question the timing of the Michigan agency disclosure. Which statement provides the best guidance, while the file concerns a retail suite, assigned agency disclosure, and an owner-licensee conflict? Option A. Only after closing. Option B. After the first offer is rejected. Option C. Before the prospect reveals transaction-specific confidential information. Option D. Whenever the licensee chooses. The correct answer is option C. Before the prospect reveals transaction-specific confidential information. Available agency relationships and their duties must be explained early in the interaction. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. A closing-stage disclosure would come too late to protect informed choice.